It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, as a wrestler has been removed from tonight's AEW All Out pay-per-view, Jon Moxley has won a world championship outside of AEW, and CM Punk seems to have confirmed Bryan Danielson is AEW bound once again. All that and more coming up in today's video, but first... AEW President Tony Khan appeared in an interview with Bleacher Report this week to discuss the upcoming AEW All Out 2021 pay-per-view, which airs live tonight from the Now Arena just outside of Chicago. Another topic mentioned was the upcoming changes to AEW Dark, with the show said to be moving from being taped in arenas before Dynamite and Rampage to being taped at the Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, the former home of the Impact Zone and WCW Worldwide, as well as some other WCW shows. The tapings will see several weeks of shows being taped over 1 or 2 days. Khan revealed his reasons for the changes and said, "I'm not going to tape AEW Dark every week going forward. We're filming Dynamite, Rampage and Elevation in the arena, so now I think it's a great time to focus on Dark for developmental. I will be putting together some studio cards. We'll have some fun events to announce soon for fans to attend AEW Dark. I've got one venue that I have a hold on, and then sometimes we will still film in arenas." Khan spoke of the importance of AEW Dark throughout the pandemic, giving the promotion a chance to track young talent's progress, and he added, "There will still be stars making appearances and working with the young talents. During the pandemic, Dark has been so great at helping us identify the younger talent who are making huge strides. A number of young wrestlers who have come from Dark have made it to television, such as Will Hobbs, Red Velvet, and the Varsity Blondes. I really think that show has helped strengthen our roster and build our young talent for the future." It's no doubt important for AEW to focus on talent development, giving their younger or greener wrestlers a place to work without the pressures of live television. The new Universal Studios setting should create a unique feel for the show and is a fun throwback to wrestling of the past. AJ Lee recently went live on Instagram for an interview with the Most E-Girls, where she talked of her love of wrestling. Despite retiring in 2015 due to feeling that she had achieved all her goals, being caught in the middle of the CM Punk WWE heat, as well as several neck problems, she feels that wrestling was the most fun ever besides the injuries, and said, "I was 13 years old and I said, I'm going to do that one day, and I'm very stubborn, and I just did it when I was 18, about 19. I had gone to school for film and television and I couldn't afford it, and so let me follow my other passion, and then when I retired, that led me to following my other passions of film and TV. To me, it all starts in childhood and what you think is possible and having commitments." April revealed that despite leaving the business, her fans still follow everything that she does to this day, whether it be attending her mental health conferences or her journey as a writer, and she added, "They have stuck by me. They go to like my mental health conferences and they follow our journey as writers now, and I think it's really because I got the opportunity to represent a message and a mission, and they kind of related to that mission and that message continues, so yeah, it was a great time." Not many people get to live out their dream job, never mind 2 or 3 of them, and April comes across as very grateful to be in the position that she's in. Whilst there has been speculation that she could be set to follow CM Punk back to wrestling for an AEW debut, it seems unlikely, with AJ's health said to be a risk factor due to neck injuries that she's sustained throughout her career. On yesterday's video, we talked about the addition of the 21st participant in the Casino Battle Royal after Sky Blue impressed with her crowd reaction and performance on AEW Dark in a match with Red Velvet. After the match, Tony Khan would call her to the stage and offer her a place in the match, which she was delighted to accept. This led to the question as to if the 21-woman match was now full, or if AEW would make it a 22-person match, or potentially remove somebody already announced to make room for the mystery Joker entrant. And now we have our answer. On last night's special edition of AEW Dark, Julia Hart was attacked by Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill, which led to AEW revealing that she has been removed from the Casino Battle Royal, and they did so on Twitter. This reduces the announced participants back down to 20, which will allow for the planned mystery final entrant to take place. Most fans anticipate that Ruby Soho will take the spot after releasing several hype videos on Twitter teasing her next move, with her destination still unknown. Whoever the Joker may be, they will join Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, Jade Cargill, Anna Jay, Riho, The Bunny, Big Swole, Tai Conti, Hikaru Shida, Red Velvet, Diamante, Emi Sakura, Kiera Hogan, Abaddon, Layla Hirsch, Kylin King, Jamie Hayter, Rebel, and Sky Blue in the match for the chance at the AEW Women's World Championship somewhere down the line. And quickly, just before we continue, make sure you drop a like on the video as it helps me out a lot, and make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any upcoming wrestling content as we head, hopefully, towards 100,000 subscribers. But now, let's press play on the video. Less than 12 hours away from his match with New Japan Pro-Wrestling star Satoshi Kojima, AEW wrestler Jon Moxley has added another World Championship to his resume. At last night's GCW Art of War Games event, Moxley was revealed as the surprise opponent of then GCW World Champion Matt Cardona in the main event of the show. This followed Cardona's short squash match with Frank the Clown. The champ was then confronted by G Raver and a number of druids before it was revealed that one of them was Moxley in disguise. He would then take Cardona out with the paradigm shift through a set of light tubes to win the match. This is quite the surprise, as Cardona recently introduced a new GCW World Title belt, a parody of John Cena's spinning WWE Championship. Cardona, who formerly wrestled in WWE as Zack Ryder, has played upon his past to gain heel heat from the audience, even renaming the belt the GCW Universal Title. The belt is now back in the hands of somebody that the GCW fans love, ending Matt's 42-day reign. Moxley was then confronted by the man that Cardona defeated for the belt, Nick Gage, seemingly to set up a match between the two deathmatch legends in the future. This was Gage's first appearance in GCW since his match with Chris Jericho on AEW Dynamite, where he lost in a no-rules match as part of the Labors of Jericho. There is currently no word on Cardona's future in GCW, and no date has been given for the eventual Gage versus Moxley match. And finally, CM Punk appeared in an interview with Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions podcast this week and discussed potential dream matches in AEW. Punk spoke about why he won't be shot straight to the top of the card against the likes of AEW World Champion Kenny Omega due to AEW's win-loss records and their ranking system. And he said, "I think the way AEW is structured, CM Punk couldn't come in and immediately start wrestling Kenny Omega. They have wins and loss records. I'm on the fence about it." Punk would add that a win-loss record approach is difficult to maintain due to the YouTube shows AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, which boosts the rankings position of those lower down on the card, and said, "I get it, but it's hard to maintain simply because they have the YouTube shows, I think, which I think the majority of the records, their matches and stuff come from." It kind of reminds me of Goldberg in WCW, where one Nitro he'd be 10-0, and then on the next Nitro he'd be like 25-0. And I'd be like, wait a second, this guy wrestled twice a day for a week, what is going on? Punk would once again then add fuel to the Bryan Danielson debut fire by hinting that he wants to team with him in AEW for a match with the Young Bucks. He also seemingly suggested that Bryan could be set for an AEW debut this weekend, as reported, with his debut expected tonight at AEW All Out 2021, which by the way you can buy using our Fight affiliate link in the description below, where you can get it for just $19.99 internationally and $49.99 in the United States. And this includes unlimited replays, meaning you can watch the pay-per-view as many times as you want in the future. So if you fancy helping support the channel, make sure you do that. But let's get into CM Punk's comments on Bryan Danielson. "But yeah, I want to wrestle Jon. I've never wrestled Jon Moxley. I want to wrestle the Young Bucks, but I've got to find the right tag partner for that. I mean, if we're fantasy booking, when does this come out? Saturday? Okay. I don't think it's necessarily giving away spoilers, it's just me putting my booker hat on. Of all the possibilities, I'd do CM Punk and the American Dragon versus the Young Bucks. It's so obvious that's what you do." This clear suggestion that Bryan is AEW bound follows a segment last week where Punk told the AEW crowd to be patient after they started a yes chant, implying that he'll be there eventually. I personally would love to see Bryan and Punk as a tag team for some dream matches against the likes of the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, adding even more star power to AEW's tag division. Punk would also mention that he'd love to be part of a trios match teaming with Sting and his all-out opponent Darby Allin at some point in the future. And back to Danielson Danielson, reports from both bodyslam.net and the Wrestling Observer have both stated that Bryan is set to debut tonight at AEW All Out, with CM Punk's comments doing nothing to calm the speculation down. This is similar to the build to Punk's own debut at Rampage The First Dance, with AEW not ruling it out, whilst continuously adding to the rumours instead of dampening them. And make sure you check out my video where I discuss 10 times that AEW wrestlers rejected WWE, including Bryan Danielson and the Elite.